High up in the Indian Himalayas, at an altitude of over 16,000 feet, lies a remote and desolate lake. At first glance, it appears to be just another frozen body of water surrounded by towering peaks. But as the snow melts during the summer months, this lake reveals a dark and chilling secret. Hundreds of ancient human skeletons lie beneath its waters. This is the eerie tale of Roopkund, more famously known as Skeleton Lake. What caused these skeletons to be here? Were they victims of a natural disaster, a forgotten massacre, or something even more sinister? Join us as we unravel one of India's most enduring mysteries, the secret of Roopkund Lake. The story begins in 1942. A British forest ranger named Hari Kishan Madwal was patrolling the mountains near Roopkund when he made a shocking discovery. As the ice around the lake began to melt, he saw bones, hundreds of them, scattered along the shores and submerged beneath the water. Human skulls, femurs, ribs. There were far too many for it to be the result of a mere accident. These skeletal remains dated back hundreds, if not thousands of years, yet they were shockingly well preserved by the lake's icy water. News of Madwal's discovery spread quickly, and soon scientists and archaeologists were trekking up to Roopkund to investigate. But what they found only deepened the mystery. Who were these people? Why did they die? And more importantly, how did hundreds of skeletons end up in such a remote and inaccessible place? Early theories were wild. Some believed it could be the remains of a lost army, perhaps soldiers of a forgotten kingdom who perished in the cold. Others speculated that these bones belonged to a caravan of traders who met their untimely end while crossing the treacherous mountains. But there was no concrete evidence to support these ideas. What puzzled investigators the most was the distribution of the skeletons. The remains weren't found in a pile or scattered randomly, but rather they were neatly arranged around the edges of the lake, almost as if these individuals had been standing or sitting when they met their deaths. This led to another bizarre theory, that perhaps this was some kind of ritual sacrifice or mass suicide. But again, no proof. For decades, the mystery of Roopkund Lake lay dormant. But in the early 2000s, with the advent of modern technology, researchers began to make progress. DNA analysis revealed that the skeletons weren't from a single group, as previously believed. Instead, there were two distinct genetic populations. One group appeared to be of South Asian origin, while the other was from the Mediterranean region. This surprising finding raised even more questions. How did people from so far away end up together at such a remote spot in the Himalayas? Was Roopkund Lake once part of an ancient trade route? Or had these groups come together for some religious pilgrimage or ceremonial event? Further examination of the bones provided another critical clue. Most of the skulls bore strange fractures, but these injuries didn't appear to be from weapons or combat. Instead, the cracks were consistent with something far stranger. In 2004, a new and shocking theory emerged. After carefully analyzing the skull injuries, researchers proposed that the people of Roopkund Lake had died during a sudden and violent hailstorm. But this wasn't just any hailstorm. It was an apocalyptic barrage of massive hailstones, each the size of a cricket ball. The skull fractures were consistent with blunt force trauma, the kind you would expect from being struck by something heavy and fast, moving. Imagine being caught in the open, on the treacherous slopes of the Himalayas, as the sky darkens and the heavens unleash a storm of deadly ice. There's nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. One by one, people fall to the ground, struck by the deadly hail. It's a gruesome, tragic, and entirely plausible explanation for why these individuals perished where they stood. The bodies were left where they fell, preserved for centuries by the cold mountain air and icy lake water, their final moments frozen in time. But even with this theory in place, many questions remain unanswered. For example, why were there individuals from two very different genetic backgrounds? One group appeared to be locals, but the other originating from the Mediterranean, was far from home. What brought them together at Roopkund? Another mystery revolves around the timing of their deaths. Radiocarbon dating suggests that the skeletons weren't all deposited at once. In fact, they span a period of over 1,000 years. Some of the bones date back to the 9th century, while others are much more recent. This suggests that Roopkund wasn't the site of a single catastrophic event, but perhaps a place where similar tragedies occurred repeatedly. Adding to the mystery is the fact that no artifacts, tools, or weapons have been found among the remains. These people weren't carrying much with them. No evidence of trade goods, no signs of a military campaign, nothing to explain their journey. As with any great mystery, Roopkund has its share of myths and legends. Local folklore tells of a royal pilgrimage gone wrong. According to one tale, a king from a distant land was traveling through the mountains with his queen and entourage to visit the shrine of Nanda Devi, a revered goddess in the region. Along the way, the group angered the goddess by disrespecting her sacred land. In her fury, Nanda Devi unleashed a hailstorm of divine wrath, killing everyone in the king's party. Could this legend have some basis in reality? Was Roopkund Lake the site of a doomed pilgrimage, where those who defied the gods paid the ultimate price? Or could there be other, more mundane explanations tied to the harsh realities of traveling through the unforgiving Himalayas? Today, Roopkund Lake continues to captivate adventurers, scientists, and mystery seekers alike. Each year, trekkers make the arduous journey to this eerie, frozen lake, hoping to catch a glimpse of the skeletons that emerge from the ice when the weather warms. Despite advances in science, we still don't have all the answers. Was it a freak hailstorm that caused the deaths of these individuals? Or is there something more hidden in the depths of Roopkund's past? Perhaps new discoveries will one day solve the mystery once and for all. But until then, the bones of Roopkund will continue to tell their silent, haunting story. The truth behind the Roopkund skeletons may remain elusive, but the mystery has secured its place as one of India's most captivating and chilling tales. In the heart of the Himalayas, surrounded by towering peaks and echoing silence, Roopkund Lake keeps its secrets frozen in time. If you found this mystery fascinating, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most intriguing secrets on FactSphere. Let us know in the comments what you think caused the deaths at Roopkund Lake: natural disaster, ancient pilgrimage, or something more sinister. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.